ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nino Belicki, Pre-Sales Application Design Support, Bosch Safety and Security Systems. Mr. Nino, welcome.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Welcome to Security Summit virtual event and also to the short seminar about Bosch fire safety in cloud IoT remote services. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Probably still not. Can you see my screen now?
No. No.
No.
We still can't. Make sure that you... That's okay.
I should be okay. Can you hear me? Yes. So the goal of the seminar is to show you that you shouldn't be afraid of putting your safety system online anymore. Of course, if you have the proper equipment and if you have a good vendor to support this task. What are the current day issues of fire systems? As you know, there is less and less people who can do the job of the maintenance, which means that we can save on any point that we can. And also the biggest issue, of course, is that fire event cannot wait us to do a lot of, procedures in order to start with extinguishing the fire. Also, as you know, in the fire systems, there are maintenance contracts. Everything is related by the law, and we need some additional tools to speed up everything about the fire systems. As you know, for the maintenance companies, it's always a big issue, especially in our region, because usually the roads are not that well, and it takes a lot of time to go to the installation site. Then if the owner of the system or your end customer didn't recognize what is going on in the fire system, you have to go back to your office to get additional goods. And you're also losing a lot of your own time, sometimes even several days. For the end user, of course, end user would like to have, let's say, control over everything what maintenance companies are doing. As you know, it's a big scope. Usually there is somebody like this gentleman here who is facility manager and who has to control 20 or 30 systems in his building or maybe in his series of buildings. And we are here to help to solve at least the fire issue problem. What are the prerequisites? Of course, the main thing is to have the vendor which is oriented to the cloud services. I can proudly say that Bosch has been developing this topic for almost 10 years. So we have the common platform not only for fire, but also for all other business units and the products that we have. With the ultimate goal, of course, in 5 years, maybe 10, to have all devices that we have in our office, in our manufacturing site, in our home, let's say in one remote platform. Second thing, of course, is to have the products which are prepared to be connected to the internet and to cloud services. For those who are not tracking Bosch too much, a year and a half ago, we introduced the Oven, our new fire panel, which has inbuilt industrial switch. And we can really easily and in a safe manner connect any fire site to our cloud. What are the components of our solution? We have, let's say, 4 services, or on the other hand, maybe 3 services and up. we are calling them remote connect, remote alert, remote maintenance, and remote interact. And I will show you briefly how each of them is behaving. What do you need from Bosch? You know, we are aware that most of the security experts are not expert deeply in the networking technologies. So our goal is to make this connection as simple as possible. And you can really do this installation in 30 minutes because all you need to have is one fire panel. You need to have the gateway. Hopefully you can see it here. It's TDT switch, but with special Bosch router, which is dealing with the VPN connection automatically. You just need 2 cables. It's really plug and play. After the connection is established, you can do a lot of stuff with the fire system, from configuration to troubleshooting. This is how the topology is working. So the goal is to have fully secure connection in order to be compliant as much as possible to EN 5413 standard. Of course, as you know, all this audit and normative and certification bodies are a little bit in a way slow, and they cannot track all the changes which are happening every week, basically. So what we did is we managed to supply this router with VPN connection to Bosch Cloud. It's fully encrypted connection, which means that nobody can sniff or track or attack any of the elements which are in this networking connection. You can see here on the left side, it's a customer side, which is actually the fire panel. Via this gateway, it's connected to Bosch security servers, which are placed, of course, in Germany, I think in Stuttgart or Frankfurt, I'm not sure. And on the other side, you can have either the notebook of the service engineer who can connect to the fire system and program or check out remotely, or you can have the people with the mobile phones or the tablets using the apps to monitor the system. Of course, we are preparing some new versions, and it will be possible to interact with the system, which is the, of course, goal that you can remotely do something like silence the system or bypass some zones and so on. If in the audience we have some people who are managing the alarm management sites or security guard companies, this is also interesting for you because we will issue the API set or the protocol, and you will be able to create your own application and monitor what is in Bosch Fire Cloud. So it will be like you are monitoring the intrusion systems, which is usually what you are doing. This is just an example of how it looks like in the programming software. So, of course, we can see whatever is going on the level of the panel, but this is also what you can see on your mobile phone or in the cloud. Remote alert. This is giving you the opportunity to add basically unlimited number of users.
Hello, Nino. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Information that the loop is in trouble. So from the very moment that person knows that if they want to go to repair something in the fire site or to check something, they have to bring proper number of devices which could be replaced, let's say. This is the list of the connectivity. So everything is tracked in the cloud. Here you can see the number down here, a number of the users which are subscribed to this site. And you can choose if that one person can receive the email, the second can receive SMS, the third can have everything, and so on. So you also have the status of everything what is going on with the site, when the site was off or online. Further in the software, you can see why it was off or on. Maybe it was due to the lack of internet connection, or maybe it was to some technical issues in the fire system. For the remote maintenance, I think the best point is that you can program anything in the system remotely. As you know, I think at least 25% of the job that you have during the maintenance can be done actually remotely. Was it maybe to restart something, or maybe to scan the loop, or whatever you need. We have the remote desktop for the fire panel, and you can do it quite easily. Additionally, in the cloud, you can download the maintenance documentation, which is related to the loop part or to the hardware part. This is how the interface looks like. So this person is having several buildings, as you can see, and everything is going after that by a click from the mouse of your notebook or PC, or you can connect from the browser of your mobile phone, or even better, tablet, and you can also click whatever is inside. The cloud is tracking literally everything what is happening, not only in the panel but also in the loop. So whatever is available in the detector, for example, electromagnetic pollution, because we have electromagnetic sensor inside, physical pollution of the chamber, days of working, and everything else, you can also see in the cloud, which means that you can prepare better for maybe the future timings of the maintenance that you need. So for example, if you can see that the pollution of 10 detectors is, let's say, on 50%, then you can really expect in very short time that you will have to go to the site that the customer will call you. So you can know even before then the customer is calling you, you can know what is going on in the fire system. This is an example on the loop, and this is how it looks like when you have no faults in the system. A good thing also is that you can do the walk test, or somebody is calling this revision mode, or the regular yearly or half yearly checking up of the system, depending on local norms. So you can enter this mode. So for example, the fire audit person can go inside with the tablet only. Only one person can go around, test detectors, and he can really write what is the tested and what is not tested. Here is the window of the walk test. Here in the upper right corner, you can see that you have to start and to stop walk test. So it's just like somebody pressed the button on the panel part, but only that you don't need two persons, one to stand next to the panel and one to walk around. Only one person can do this part. So you can see here, manually tested, and you're also getting the notice on your devices that the walk test has been finished. Remote Interact, we added this feature last year, and of course we are developing this quite fastly. I think the goal is to have 3-4 versions every year, just to add some new features, maybe some new options inside. The latest option, I think, was to add the full history review. Just check, maybe, I don't know if you will see it. So I think you can see it. So this, we used to have only a couple of latest events, but now you can just browse whole history, which is online. And also you have 3 dots to extend it. The colors in the software are now fully related like the colors in the fire panel. So who is operating the panel, that person can really see no changes. So I can just try to find some fire event. Right. Only some testing from the test site. The application is free of charges, and you can also download it to your mobile phone. You will see the code a little bit later. In a nutshell, this is how it looks like, and you are getting the SMS or the email within the seconds. Also, the fire application can work as a pop-up, so you're getting this information on the mobile phone also within a couple of seconds. As you know, it takes roughly 5 to 10 or 15 minutes for the fire brigade to get information about the fire alarm on the site. And depending on the size of the city or town, it can take between 5 and also to 20 minutes for them to reach the burning building. And with these applications and features, you can really speed up also in the intervention and be successful in saving the building. If you have the mobile phone, you can scan the QR code here to download the application. I'm planning to put my room, my demo room, next week to online, and who will be interested, I can give you access to the my account and to my panel, and you can play with that. What are the benefits? Of course, for the system integrator, not only that the site is monitored 24/7, but you can be much quicker in the maintenance, and you can spend less time in visiting unnecessary sites. Also, let me just show you one thing. Here, I think this is the live video. Yes. I can thank to Fidens company from Croatia to let me to use this. And this is how the application is working. What do you need for this setup? You need the remote service bundle. This is the yearly license, which has to be paid to the Bosch partner, of course, or to the Bosch if you are Bosch partner. And you need this gateway that I've shown. If you need more information about the remote service, you can also scan this code. It will lead you directly to the remote services fire page. And I think I saved almost 5 or 10 minutes for the live presentation. This is actually why I speed up the presentation part, because I would like to show you how it looks like. It's live. It's very simple. So you go to the Bosch remote security site. You just log in. If you are managing the site, you are connecting with the administrator account. I'm technician for some demo sites that we have in our Grasbrunn offices in Germany. So I can go here. So at the very moment, I can see whatever is going on with the site. You have the filters here. I can see what is the offline, what is the online status. This is the experience center in Grasbrunn. It's our demo room, so let's go there. Here you can see the status of the licenses. Green, of course, means that the internet connection is okay. If we go back to the offline sites, here you can see immediately that something happened with the internet connection. Also, you can see if the license is regularly updated or, let's say, paid. In this case, it was not. In the online status, licenses are okay. Here you can see the remote connect. It's, I think, very important also for the end users, because this is the connection history of the person who connects to the site. So, for example, if somebody thinks that installer can connect and just leave the connection, pretend that they are doing something and go to the lunch, it's not possible, because automatically, if there is no activity in the connection between the remote site cloud and notebook which is programming the site, the connection will stop. So it's not possible to have 1 hour and 30 minutes connection if you're not working actively on the site. On the other hand, this person can, as an installer, can tell to the partner investor that I was working 1.5 hours and here is my bill for my working hours. I know in our Balkan region, it's not that it's working always like that, but let's hope it will come into this position. Remote alert, as you can see here, you can choose which type of event can be sent or should be sent to the user or to the subscriber. So, for example, in this case, Mr. Hirsch can only have the push notification on the mobile phone, and Mrs. Franz can see basically everything which is going on in the demo room. Also, you have complete alert history, and this cannot be erased. So not only that we have 10,000 events in the Fire panel, we have basically unlimited number of events in the cloud system. What is interesting for the installer companies in the remote maintenance, if somebody is calling you that something is beeping and something, please come check out, and then we'll see if you will do something or not. Here you can see on the first side that something is happening with the panel 1. This is the module part. As you know, the Bosch is a modular panel with hot plug modules. So you have all the statuses of all the modules which are connected in the panel. In this case, you can see the loop model. Something is going on here. We can see here that the voltage on the one part of the loop is normal, 30 volts, but here is the 0 volt. That means that you have break somewhere in the loop. And now this is the loop level, and you can see that something needs attention. So in this case, I believe this chemical sensor is working longer than 5 years, and it should be replaced by N54. So you have everything here. You can download the sensor report. It's the PDF, which looks like this. And this is the full list of the report. So, for example, you can send this document to the system owner. You can say, look, you have faults or some attention statuses on this number of the elements. We need to change it, for example, this detector. After you changed it, you come back to the office, you make another sensor report, which will be fully green without any tensions, and then you can send this document to the installer together with the bill for this service. Also, you have the panel report. So the same thing, you are getting the PDF. And now this PDF says if you had the issues or not on the model level. If you go to the panel 2, you can also here see what is going on. I will just start briefly the programming software because we have a couple of more minutes. So you have to do as an engineer, you have to go to the RPS software for programming. You just add the remote service details in this window, send it to the panel. And after that, you can connect remotely to the site by connecting remotely in this way. And then you can also right click and you can go to the remote terminal, which I cannot show you here, of course. And then it's just like you are physically on the panel. So I hope that you like the presentation and that you didn't have some sound issues. And so please don't be afraid of using fire systems in the cloud. I think it's about the time to go into this direction. For the end users, it will help you to keep the maintenance and the system transparent. I don't know how to say better in a good way. And of course, for the installer and the maintenance components, it will really save you a lot of time and money for the maintaining the sites.
Mr. Nino, really inspiring presentation. I'm sorry. I will have 3 questions for you. My first question.
Have time? Yes. Yes.
How to reduce false alarms?
How to reduce false alarms?
Yes.
It's a tough question because first you have to pick the equipment which has better tracking of preventing of the false alarms. So this is the first step in my opinion. So you must have the detectors which are equipped with the additional sensors. So I can mention Bosch, but of course there are a lot of other vendors which are very good on the market. But if you are the installer company, you have to test and to compare the various systems. Of course, that you cannot expect that if you buy some detector for 10 euros, that it will work in the very same manner as somebody who is having the detector for 70 euros. So this is really just like, you cannot get anything for free, of course. We are in capitalism, so this is the first step. And of course, you have to train your personnel regularly, so not to have let's say situations that the installer person who is going to the installer site doesn't know what they are doing, so they have to basically learn on site, or they also must have time to prepare themselves for the installation. And the third point is to track whenever you can in 54 recommendations. So it's known in our region that people, especially investors, are trying to skip some parts because they think they can save some money. But on the long term, if you have everything by in 54, not only from a detector point, but also for the networking part, I think you will have less issues on the installation.
Yes. Great. What could be possible challenges of remote management?
Possible challenges
yes.
of remote management. So again, depending on so it's very hard to secure the service which will go 100%. So even, of course, when you're signing the contract with the internet vendor, internet company, you have this 99.99% of the time that they will be online, but sometimes it's not. So maybe you can secure the double, the routers which are having the double or the redundant internet connection. From the Bosch part as a vendor, for example, and it applies to other vendors as well. Of course, it's really very tricky how to do the regular maintenance of the cloud part, and also to secure to the installer companies to do this part. Hopefully, I know that everybody's having issues, and hopefully every vendor will come better in this part. And what can I see as the issue? So in Bosch case, I think you have no issues in the manner of if somebody will connect at will or not. Maybe most of the end users, especially ones which are doing some sensitive things, or maybe factories, are not keen to have internet connection open for the fire system. But as I mentioned, in Bosch case, everything is fully encrypted and safe. I think we will also try to get some certificates from the IT security companies which can be shown to the investor that this is really the safe stuff. Maybe they can also request this part. It's the most important, I think. And at least in Bosch case, I cannot remember any other possible issue. I think if you have everything transparent, I think it can only be good to have it to be used.
Yes. Two more questions for you, Mr. Nino. How do we achieve real-time fire detection with higher accuracy in an IoT environment?
It's in non-IoT environment. So that means that you should have some modules in the panel side, which are basically like the intrusion panels. And only in that case, you can try to do something. But I think it's very hard to get this to track the system on the point level. So this is only thing what I can see. I can also notice that a lot of vendors are going to the direction to have these features inside. It also depends on the what is the plan of the company. I would say that the companies like Bosch are more likely to go into the IoT part. So because this is the goal of the Bosch as the whole corporation, not only building technologies or not only fire part, but maybe some companies which are doing only fire alarms. I think it would be good for them to have these models, or let's say intrusion panels built in the fire panel, and use this communication like with the DEMCO protocols, I don't know, SIP protocols and whatever.
And my last question, Mr. Nino, how do we deal with limited storage, transmission and computation resources?
Look, the whole idea with going to the IoT and to cloud is not to think about this part as a user, be it installer company or maybe end user, because the side who is providing the cloud solution must deal with this part. So this is actually like fire as a service, or maybe, I don't know, for the term video as a service. So everything is going into this direction to have, let's say, to deal with the services as a user, and to put some vendor or somebody else to think about the hardware part. And this user experience, so the companies which will be the best in providing this, let's say, user or application experience, the user interface to be more user-friendly and so on, these companies will, I think, win in the market. So hopefully Bosch is one of these companies.
Thank you, Mr. Nino, for your participating in our Security Summit Virtual Event 2022.
Okay, thank you very much, and I'm looking forward for the next year as well, if we'll be invited.
Thank you, Mr. Nino.